is when Dane gets super suspicious, as he's finally starting to realize that his brother might just be a terrible person. And so he goes to Bank of America himself, because he's going to try to get into his accounts. But, as it turns out, he doesn't even have access to his own bank accounts.
Oh, wow.
And when the bank managers finally do let him into his accounts, where there should be millions of dollars waiting for him, he sees there's actually $0 waiting for him. Apparently, Daryl cleared these accounts all out.
Alright, so I'm here with Ray Williams Johnson with Dan Cook Lost Millions. Dan Cook was somebody who was coming up when I was younger, and I was like, okay, this nigga kind of funny. Like, it wasn't the funniest nigga. I think Kevin Hart was around this time too, or a little bit after him, and he took the spotlight from him very quickly. And for me, Dave Chappelle just can't be top, so none of these things even touch Dave Chappelle. Even Cat Williams, they weren't funny to me as Cat Williams. But he was somebody who, if I was bored, I listened to him. Him and Pablo Francisco. I don't know where I was watching it at, but there'd be like these little AMVs of Naruto characters or whoever it may be, of anime characters, and they would be acting out the scenes of it, of what they're saying in the comedy. It'd be funny. It'd legitimately be funny. It made it a lot better. But Dan Cook was somebody I definitely thought was going to be around for a long time. I just didn't even realize it. He just disappeared. Let's see what happened to him. I don't even know.
$12 million. Now, this whole story starts with this guy, Dane. And Dane's around 16 during this time, living in Boston, and his family is struggling. They're surviving on welfare and food stamps. But one day, he decides he's gonna get himself and his family out of the struggle, and he's gonna do it by becoming famous in the comedy world. So, over the next few years, he spends all his time trying to be a comedian. Like, every night he's working on his material in local comedy clubs, and by the time he's in his 20s, Dane is spending every single night working the scene trying to make this happen. And he does this for years.
There was a big naked white guy, no pee-pee. He had he had nothing down there.
But then, in 1998, he finally gets a bit of a break. He gets a stand-up segment on Comedy Central. Then, in 2000, he gets his own half-hour special.
I wish I was a snake. Dude, you ever wish you were a snake?
And of course, being on TV helps promote his live shows, so now he's making a little bit of money. And
yeah, like the grind to be a comedian looks crazy. From being in little nightclub shows, barely anybody in there, probably 10, 50 people in there listening to you, to being able to get to the next stage where it's hundreds of people listen to you, the next stage, thousands and tens of thousands. That has to be a grind, dog. I don't even know how he got to that point. I was like, wow. That's scary.
With some of this money, he wants to make sure his family is taken care of. And so he buys his mom a nice house. But he also wants to help out this guy, Daryl. Daryl is Dane's half-brother and his very close friend. They actually grew up together. And so Dane goes to Daryl and he's like, hey, you want a job? I could pay you to be my business manager or something. And even though Daryl really doesn't have much experience with this stuff, Dane really wants to help him out. So Daryl hears this offer.
Oh yeah, you cannot just put your family on, especially in the positions as important as a manager. Like, I don't know what he was thinking there, or I don't even know what the job entails, but I guarantee he didn't either. So why would you put him in charge? That's a leap of faith by you that I couldn't take. There's nobody in my family who I'd be like, yeah, you're my manager now. No, there's nobody in my family who I could think of who could take on that responsibility. No friends that I have I think can take on that responsibility. That's just too much. I need somebody professional who's done it, who can micromanage different things, who can help me get to higher positions. Not just a friend, but let's see.
Offer, and he's like, all right. And he comes on board as business manager. And Dane pays him a salary, and Daryl handles a lot of Dane's finances and makes sure his taxes are paid on time and stuff. So this deal works great for both of them. Then, in 2002, Dane does something completely unheard of at the time. He starts taking advantage of the internet, which is the norm now, but stand-up comics aren't doing this in 2002. But Dane is smart. He makes a website, and he's like posting footage of his stand-up shows, and through this, he starts getting an even bigger fan base. Then in 2004, he starts a MySpace page. Remember MySpace? One of the first really big social media platforms? Again, stand-up comics were not doing this.
Let me know down in the comments. Were y'all a MySpace person? Facebook? What you got next? Instagram? Twitter? What is your favorite all-time platform? Like, what does it for you? For me, it's probably gonna be Instagram. I probably should know what's my time on Instagram. Never really post. Almost never post. But I just love that's where I'm used doing my scrolling at. Instagram is my TikTok. Point blank period.
At the time. But Dane does it, and this gives him tons of visibility, and suddenly, kaboom, his career blows the fuck up. And now he's everywhere, and he has millions of followers. His comedy albums are going platinum. He's performing at Madison Square Garden, sometimes twice in one night. And suddenly, Dane is far from being the welfare kid he started out as. Now he's one of the biggest comedians in the world, and everyone around him is super happy for him and very supportive. Until
what?
Well, not everyone is very supportive. Daryl, his business manager, his half-brother, his longtime close friend, Daryl sees his younger brother experiencing all this success and making all these millions of dollars, and at some point, he starts to think that maybe he's entitled to some of it. And Dane already pays him $150,000 a year salary, but that's apparently not enough for...
Yo, you're paying me $150,000. You just take care of your tax papers and make sure everything's lined up right? Nigga, I'm taking $10,000 of that, paying somebody else to do the job for me, and then taking the $140,000 for myself, and just living life. Nigga, what are we doing? Yo, some people greedy. But maybe after having that money for so long, I get greedy too. I don't know.
Daryl, he wants more. And instead of asking his brother for a raise like a normal person, he decides he's just gonna steal it. So he gets to work and he starts wiring money from Dane's business accounts right into his own personal account. And he writes fake checks from Dane to himself. And Daryl is good at covering his tracks. He sends Dane fake bank statements to make it look like all the finances are good and that everything is adding up. And as the years go by, he steals millions from Dane. And his wife is helping him do it, like this turd, Erica.
Oh, wow.
And Daryl and Erica are spending this stolen money. They buy jewelry. They buy an $800,000 condo in Maine.
Yo, and that's on him. How did he not get a red flag going? I know how much I pay you. How do you afford a $150,000 condo? Huh? And wait, condo? Am I tripping? Condo?
Invest in a bunch of businesses like a hotel complex and a couple of restaurants. Daryl even racks up over $1 million in credit card debt just buying shit for himself.
Wow.
And then he pays that credit card off with Dane's money.
Wow.
And just in case all this goes south, he starts hiding hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash in the walls at his multiple homes he now owns.
Smart.
In total, it's estimated that he stole a minimum of $12 million from his own brother.
I'd be
and
sick.
Poor Dane, he's working so hard, he doesn't notice any of this money is missing because he believes these bank statements, and of course he trusts his brother, they grew up together. But then Daryl's scheming all starts to fall apart. Because as Dane becomes more and more famous, he starts getting a lot more movie deals and stuff, including a movie with Kate Hudson, one with Jessica Simpson, another one with Jessica Alba. And so in 2008, Dane
Yeah, I ain't seen none of those. I hate movies for the most part, so I ain't seen none of those. Even if they were good, I don't know. Let me know. Were they good? I doubt it. Because I swear, a lot of comedians are not good actors, but maybe he turned out to be one. But Dave Chappelle, decent actor. Cat Williams, great actor. I don't like Cat Williams as an actor. I just do not Cat Williams. I don't like Kevin Hart as an actor. I can't stand nigga in movies. I'm a straight up hater on that nigga.
officially becomes a resident of California, and he starts having his taxes filed there. And as such, he has to find a new business manager in Los Angeles, one who's a little more experienced with that side of things. And it sucks to do, but Dane has to go and break the news to his brother that he's switching managers. But he says that he'll figure out a new job for him, keep him in the family business and help him out. Now, I assume Daryl acts all chill about this, but obviously handing over the books to someone else is horrible news for him. I mean, what if this new manager sees that he's been stealing all this money? And so eventually, Dane's new manager does his job and he hits up Daryl to hand over all of Dane's financial records. And Daryl starts acting really shady and like he makes up all kinds of excuses as to why he can't do it. And this stalls things for a while. However, Daryl realizes that he can't keep this up for long. He needs a new plan fast. And so, in a panic, he starts Googling things like white-collar attorneys and how to hide money. And when that doesn't get him anywhere, he eventually realizes that his only option is to go on the run. And so, he and his wife, they start making plans to leave and travel the world. Then he forges Dane's signature and writes one last check to himself
for
much? $3 million.
Oh,
and he deposits it into his personal account. Meanwhile, Dane's new manager...
I don't think I don't get about this. So if he deposits his account, he's going to have to pull all of this money out. Because if they report the theft, they're going to freeze his account. And then while he's traveling the world, he's going to be screwed. And I have never had that much money in my account, but I doubt that they're going to allow him to just straight up be able to pull that much money out of his account at one time. So what is he going to do?
Hits up Dane and is like, your brother's ignoring me. And so Dane sends Daryl a stern message saying, bro, you need to FedEx those documents right now. And Daryl's like, I'm working on it. But he's definitely not working on it. Because 2 days later, Daryl and Erica hop on a 4 a.m. train headed out of the state. Then they rent a car and they drive somewhere. I don't know. They completely disappear off the map. And this disappearance is when Dane gets super suspicious, as he's finally starting to realize that his brother might just be a terrible person. And so he goes to Bank of America himself, because he's going to try to get into his accounts. But, as it turns out, he doesn't even have access to his own bank accounts.
Wow.
And when the bank managers finally do let him into his accounts, where there should be millions of dollars waiting for him, he sees there's actually $0 waiting for him. Apparently, Daryl cleared these accounts all out. And of course, this is devastating for Dane. Like, how could someone so close to him betray him like...
Yo. Okay, so I thought that he was going to have like a couple million left in the bank. Like, he made hundreds of millions and the nigga took like 10-20% of those millions. This nigga took it all. I ain't gonna have a brother after that. I am not gonna have a brother. Point blank, period. That nigga is deleted. Hell no. Oh my goodness. You took everything out of my accounts? Left me with nothing? Alright, bro. Yeah, alright.
Like this. I mean, this is probably some of the worst pain he's ever felt in his life. And so, he has no choice but to finally go to the police. Then, a few weeks later, police find Daryl in Massachusetts, and boom, they arrest him. And I don't have a mugshot for him, but here he is in court in handcuffs. Also, bam, they arrest Erica. Here's her mugshot. And Daryl pleads guilty, and he gets sentenced to 6 years in prison, while Erica, she gets 3 years in prison, and they have to pay Dane back all the money they stole. So,
how?
Good for him.
All right. So let me understand this though. I assume they still have the money, so they get the money back to him. But if they spent all the money, how did they give him back the money? Because they won't at any point in their life earn that much money to be able to replace that money. How the hell do they give him back his money? Oh man, so yeah, that's where it goes. You have to hire professionals, have to have everything written out and have checks and balances to make sure that people are not stealing from you, because people will take advantage of you like nothing. You can love them, you can trust them, and they will still fuck you over. That's disgusting, bro.